Hey guys, I want to give you a little bit of a warning ahead of time. I'm recording this after the fact. We ran into a lot of Skype issues for part 2, more so than even part 1, and there are, static things going on here. I glitch out now and again. The audio levels are up and down. It's really kind of a mess compared to what it normally is, so I apologize, but this is the best that I could do to clean it up. So for this half an hour, it kind of sucks, but, what are you going to do? We do fix it later on, so the main event doesn't sound this bad, but I just wanted to put it out there for anybody who was caught off guard. Maybe they didn't click on, the other parts ahead of time or something like that, but yeah. Sorry, guys. Either way, let's get into what we ended up talking about. Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of episode number 233 of Smack Talk. We're going to get into these hot tags of the week. They are different rumors and stories and news and other things that have gone down in the world of pro wrestling over the past couple of days, and mostly it's about releases. And I mentioned this in the first part, that we had asked people in the Mega Maniacs chat what they wanted to be the main event of the night, and since we didn't have tons of stuff going on, a lot of people had voted for a big talk about the different releases that are happening and what might be coming up soon and whatnot. Not too much else ended up happening, so I figured it works best in the hot tag, so we don't give you like a 2.5 minute hot tags edition, and we'll give you that secondary main event a little bit later on. But before we get into the release talk, let's talk about the couple of other things that we do have going on. Just get them out of the way right now. Dana Brooke made her debut on the main roster, and a lot of people were expecting that Bayley would be the next person to come up, but we got the whole Dana Brooke and Emma connection still sticking together from NXT. What do you guys think about this? Is Dana Brooke ready to come up, and should she have stuck with Emma, or is this just kind of blah?
Dana Brooke and Emma were a good
Well,
pairing.
I like the fact...
Emma has made huge leaps and bounds of improvements, and I think she was better with Dana Brooke than without, and we've spoken before about Dana Brooke's improvements too. Not quite as much as a Baron Corbin, but she's come a long way. Whether she's main roster ready, what does that even mean? I think everybody gets to a point where you're just like, all right, sink or swim, let's bring him up there. Because back in the day, that's all people did. You just brought them to the main roster, and then you've seen what they did. If you wanted to hold them off, maybe you just did them on pre-shows or something like that until they were completely ready. But I think she's in a good enough position because she's got someone to back her up with Emma. She's entering into a kick-ass women's division. I wouldn't be surprised if more than anything she's just like a Diesel role. Like she's just kind of there as a strong backup. And that might mean good things for Emma. For the short-term future, at least. The long-term, it's obviously for her. But for the short-term, good for Emma.
Future babyface turn for Emma? Feud with Dana Brooke? I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it.
Yeah, like when Dana Brooke power bombs her or something. Yeah.
It'd be
I
two
like the
chicks
team
with attitudes.
I like the team of Emma and Dana Brooke, whether it's on NXT or the main roster. They work well together. Although with their relationship, I would say that Dana Brooke needs Emma a lot more than Emma needs Dana Brooke. Emma is, I think, much better on her own. But together, I think they play off of each other very well. So as far as Dana Brooke in general, I'm not really a super fan. I think she has made vast improvements since she first came on TV, but still not won me over. So hopefully they do some stuff that gets me more on their side. We'll see.
Waco, any thoughts on Dana Brooke?
Nah, not really. I haven't seen too much of her work, so I can't say much.
Another hot tag we have here, there's going to be a movie about Andre the Giant. So yeah, that's happening. No idea who could play Andre the Giant. That is the first thing that's like stand out to me of who the fuck do you cast?
I mean,
I've seen some rumors
Show, right?
flying around about it. That's what people are saying.
he has acting
I don't know.
experience.
Yeah, sure he does.
Well, it's not a WWE Films project.
So
that would be a little, like, I'm not sure if WWE would want Big Show to be a part of that or not, depending on, they might end up, like, sort of getting involved at some point or whatever, but right now it's looking like it's just, like, a separate thing, and we've had issues like this in the past where it was supposed to be, the Chris Benoit movie was supposed to happen, that never seemed to pan out. We were supposed to get something
wasn't that
about,
supposed to have, like, Liam Neeson involved, too?
Yeah, he was supposed to be Vince McMahon. Which is like kind of awesome.
Wow.
It's really awesome.
Like I sort of want to see that, I don't know who would have been a lot of the other people too, but like I kind of want an actual Hollywood film that isn't WWE Studios to do something like this, because it'd be curious to see like who they would get to play some of these people. And like Andre the Giant is, you got to have somebody who looks like him, can speak like him, is the same kind of stature and all that. And usually the people that have that kind of, you know, stature to them, they're not good actors and whatnot. So maybe
now, I'm not
CGI,
a fan of Game of Thrones, but I know you are, Mike. And one name that I've seen floating around is the Mountain, the guy who plays the Mountain, Gregor Clegane.
Hofter.
Yes,
Bjornsson.
Hofmar Julius Bjorn. Yes,
Bjornstein. Yeah.
I've seen that name floating around in a few forums talking about who could play him. What do you think about that?
I mean, he's a big dude. He's a huge dude, but he's big in a different way. He's very stocky. He's very wide. You know, something like this is going to come down to a lot of camera trickery, a lot of like flats inserted on the bottom of boots to make them look taller, camera angles to make him look, whoever they put in there, just to make him seem larger than life anyway. Because I'm sure that's going to be the intention. It's just like, oh, this huge guy and he's existing in this crazy world. Like, that's going to be the story.
What if it's Jason Segel?
Who?
The dude from I Love You Man.
The dude from Muppets?
Yeah.
Really?
Why the fuck would it be him?
he's tall as hell, actually.
I would see him more playing Tony Chimmel.
He's pretty damn tall. He's got a good Andre the Giant impression that he's got going on, and he's sort of goofy looking. So Andre the Giant, like, he's kind of goofy looking. I wouldn't be too shocked, you know. Put on some weight, give him a different hairstyle. I could see that being a possibility. It's gonna be fucking like Daniel Day-Lewis or something, though.
I wonder if they're going to acknowledge Andre the Giant's noted racist pass.
I doubt it. Maybe they'll have a scene where his daughter gets hit on by everybody. I don't know.
Oh god, if she's in this movie, there's her 15 minutes of fame.
At least they need to show him drinking a lot.
Oh, of course. They have to fulfill that myth. What was it, like 18 beers in an hour or something?
Something like that, like 3 bottles of wine at like one sitting. They got to do something with that. I don't know.
I don't know. The number I heard, it was like up to 100 plus beers in one evening.
It's a game of telephone where it's just like, you remember the Andre the Giant? Yeah, you know, he drank like 5 beers in one shot one time. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Then it turns into like he drank 3 truckloads of beer.
You know, he just holds a keg in his hand like a regular beer can.
Yeah.
I think Tim White changes the number depending on if he's had a stroke that morning or not.
Well,
Let's see what else we have here. WWE Honolulu show on June 29th is advertising a pretty decent lineup for their matches. They got Brock Lesnar versus Kevin Owens, Charlotte versus Asuka, and John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
You know, I hate when people are like, oh, house shows are so lame. Yeah, well, this is just a house show. You know, these WWE Network things, they're just glorified house shows. You know, look at this. Fucking house shows they put a lot of effort into.
There's no confirmation yet that this is going to turn into an actual like live special, but with this card, wouldn't be too shocked. And then,
this makes me think of the Beast in the East special that they did, which ended up being great. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, they could always change it. Like, you know, June 28th, they could turn out that John Cena's not going to be there. It's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura against Samoa Joe or whatever like that, which would still be kind of interesting. So Brock Lesnar might not face Kevin Owens. He might not even be a part of the card. I don't know. But if they have this 3 match card and a couple other things on top of that, those people are in for a damn good show. And that could also point out that John Cena should be returning pretty soon if they're advertising him for June 29th. Plus, we got, in that scenario, women's champion versus women's champion. Very cool to see that. And we all wanted to see Brock Lesnar versus Kevin Owens at some point. So that's another bonus. So thumbs up for those people that are going to be going there. And let's start talking about these releases. And here's the lineup that we had over this past week. Spring cleaning was in full effect. We had Alex Riley, Hornswoggle, El Torito, Zeb Colter, Santino Marella, Cameron, King Barrett, Damien Sandow, and Brooklyn Brawler. And now on top of this, Adam Rose, who has his 60-day suspension going on right now for failing the wellness policy again, he produced a whole doctor's note, and he talked about how this is kind of like ridiculous that he's suspended because it was supposed to be for Adderall and all that kind of stuff. Well, this dude just really sealed in his pink slip. He got arrested for domestic abuse, and he is suspended indefinitely now, which if you're on suspension and you get arrested and you're possibly going to get tried for this and all that kind of stuff, you're fucked. So first off, let's just give a rundown of these things. What stands out to you guys is maybe you're thankful for the release, maybe you are pissed about the release, whatever the case may be, out of all these different people. Wago, I'm going to start off with you. What are your thoughts when it comes to this set of spring cleaning releases?
Guess he needed his fucking Adderall. They got rid of it, and look what happened. He fucking committed a crime. As far as this goes, I think Adam Rose is one of he's just not my cup of tea. I've never fucking enjoyed anything that he's done. Like, there was a week or two where I'm like, this is fun. But I got bored of him real quick, so if he's off my television, I'm not going to complain. And I don't know if you could repackage him again as Leo Kruger or some shit, but I just don't think he's ever going to be anything, so it's not a problem.
What about the release?
I agree. I've never really been a fan of Adam Rose, but as far as how he goes out, I don't like that this is the way he went out. That sucks for him, sucks for his family, sucks for everyone involved. But the fact that he's no longer on my television screen, I'm okay with that.
All right, well, nobody's answered the question that I asked yet. I said, what's going on with the releases? What do you guys think about who got fired?
This is why you throw 20 topics at us. We get confused. All right, well, since we're talking about Adam Rose already, I need to bring up a very important point about Adam Rose. And that's the fact that when this whole thing went down and he got suspended, whenever something happens that WWE suspends or gets rid of somebody, all the internet warriors always want to come to their fucking aid. All those people who are so happy to back up Titus O'Neil. You don't see these people complaining much for a lot of these guys, except for Wade Barrett and Damien Sandow, which everyone wants to suck their cocks now that they're free. Adam Rose, the big thing that they were making in defense for him is everyone's like, oh, but he's such a good family man. Yeah, I remember I watched this ESPN special. He's such a great family guy. Oh, we're seeing how good of a family guy he is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, being a family guy means that you have to fucking be a responsible adult. Clearly he isn't.
Well, wasn't this also domestic abuse? Is that what this whole thing is about?
The story going around is that
really?
he had
I didn't even know that.
with his wife, and that he basically put his hands on his wife's face and pushed her or whatever, and then she tried calling 911 because she was afraid, and then he tried to take the phone away from her, don't fucking do that kind of a thing.
Don't be a what does it used to say?
Don't be a lemon.
Don't be a lemon.
Oh, Jesus. So he's got to be getting fired. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's fired.
No
I'm
way
surprised he hasn't been fired yet.
I think he was going to be fired after speaking out about the Adderall stuff. And in fairness, there was a legitimate case there, but at the same time, kind of with how the UFC used the BARA testing system, it's up to you to decide what goes in and out of your body. And if it's on their list, it's on their list.
And you know what? If he hadn't have been suspended before, and this was a legitimate thing where he had the doctor's note or whatever, then it wouldn't be that much of an issue. But on top of that, you've got another suspension. Then you kind of go and post this doctor's note online to sort of validate yourself and go, WWE is wrong and I'm in the right here to the audience that's out there. But you're not worth it to keep on the roster anyway if you're going to release a couple other people. So you're not a Randy Orton who goes, this is bullshit. I'm going to potentially lose my job over something that I don't deserve to get fired over or whatever. But then you get arrested on top of that. Dude has no leverage whatsoever. He can't say that they need to keep him because he's important. He isn't. They can't say that they need to keep him because he's a family guy, because he clearly isn't. They can't say that you keep him because he's not a wellness policy thing, because he failed it fucking twice. So it's
And obviously he's easy to replace. They literally just took half of a tag team and went, oh, look, new Adam Rose.
Mm. Now, it's a shame hearing about this, though, and that it's pretty much a guarantee that Adam Rose is getting released, that they still didn't keep Damien Sandow around, because I think he would have been a great addition to the Social Outcasts.
Yeah, but at the same time, Sandow hasn't done shit in a year. I understand everyone's upset because everyone liked him so much, and I think something people tend to forget is we only see what we see on TV. We don't know what these people are like backstage. We don't know what their situations are there. We don't know what they might have done. Again, I reference back to the Titus O'Neil situation. Everyone was getting all butthurt about that. But the more I found out about that and heard about it, apparently this is like a common thing for Titus O'Neil. Apparently he's always like roughhousing people and being a little too overzealous and too excited. So they had to punish him a bit.
And a good point about Damien Sandow is, dude looked like shit. Like recently, he's all doughy and fucking bad looking.
He was getting that Chris Hero belly.
Yeah, he didn't want to be there anymore. I guarantee you. If you're letting yourself go that much, you can't want to be there.
I do think, though, that they screwed him over. Because he was somebody who had been over with the audience for quite some time, and they just never seemed to want to give him any kind of a solid push. Like, that Money in the Bank briefcase could have gone somewhere. They had him lose to John Cena, which, you know, that in itself wouldn't be the end of the world, although it certainly didn't help him in any way whatsoever if they would have rehabbed it.
Are you kidding? That helped him completely. That was the biggest moment of his career, I think. When he came out and cashed in Money in the Bank on John Cena and had a highly competitive match on Raw, that was a big deal.
Yeah, but they screwed up straight afterwards. They should have kept
afterwards, yes, absolutely.
And then he just became a nobody.
I mean, that's basically his story. They do something awesome, like the whole Mizdow thing. Guy gets over like gangbusters. They have a big moment between him and Miz at WrestleMania. He comes out and cuts this impassioned promo the next night on Raw, and then we never see him again.
Exactly. That's the type of thing that they kept doing with Sandow, which was like, oh, you're actually getting the crowd to support you? Well, how about we build up to the idea of you getting a big push and then just take it out? And it's like, well, of course it's not going to work if you keep doing that. That's kind of like you're forcing the guy to have to keep starting over, and eventually he's just going to go, what's the fucking point? If I do all the work, you're not going to give it to me anyway. So why don't I just go out there and be a fucking jobber if that's all you're going to use me for? And the same kind of can be said about Barrett to a certain extent, although some of the problem with him does lay on his injuries.
Definitely his injuries. Here's the thing
and
with
Barrett, though, is like, God damn, that was over. And they never turned him babyface.
When it comes to Sandow, the last thing I want to say about that is I'll give him credit. Despite the dog shit they gave him, he got over despite them many, many a time. So it's a shame that it ended up the way it did, but he wasn't helping himself in the end.
Now, with Barrett's situation, he clearly was another one that was just like, they're not doing anything with me, I don't see the point anymore, and didn't re-sign. I don't know if they would have necessarily released him if he wouldn't have wanted to re-sign, because this is more so he opted out than anything. But again, another guy that, like, they gave him some titles and they sort of kept him lingering around that mid-card, but he should have been more. And some injuries get in the way, but we've had other people that have had injuries too, and that they've given them a little bit more, like, leeway. Just favoritism, sort of. And it's a little annoying to see that when Barrett still had a lot of good stuff to offer. Like, that Bad News Barrett gimmick was one of the most over things in the company, and that act could have been main event level babyface, yet they refused to turn.
Yeah, I'm really sad that they never turned that one into a babyface gimmick. That would have been huge. It was huge as it was.
You got to wonder why they don't. Like, are they blind to it, or are they?
I just never got why they kept slapping the King gimmick on him to the point they were calling him King Barrett, and there was nothing kingly about him. Is kingly a word? It is now. But that's another guy like where he just didn't do himself any favors, though. Clearly talented on the microphone, very competent in the ring, but he's just couldn't stay healthy. So if you can't be trusted, then why are they going to put any stock in you?
I think that's a way too common excuse to go against Wade Barrett. The guy didn't get injured much more than your average person gets injured here. He's not being injured any more than John Cena. Like,
exactly. That's what I was talking about.
This is a business where you get hurt. This is you go out there, you're flying around, you're crashing into things, people are crashing into you. You're going to get hurt.
Well, let me rephrase that then. He got injured at the wrong times.
But sometimes it was just sort of, they weren't doing anything with him anyway all that much. And yeah, I mean, when Barrett gets injured and he's got a situation where they're not using him, then I can understand if they sort of keep him a little bit off on the sidelines. But sometimes it seems like he got injured and came back pretty soon, and they were like, no, we don't want to do anything with you because we're worried about it. And I don't know. I mean, like you said, with John Cena, he could get injured and then they bring him right back into the world title picture. And yes, he's John Cena. But you got to give a little bit of leeway to some of the other guys, too. I think it's more so they just didn't want to push Barrett because that Nexus thing, that could have gone somewhere. Bad News Barrett could have gone somewhere. King Barrett.
Well, if you listen to what Edge and Chris Jericho said, Wade Barrett losing in that big tag match against Team Cena was all on Cena.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, they said that they tried to convince him to put Barrett over, but he said it wasn't the right decision, so that was all on Cena more than it was the WWE. Then again, they could have vetoed it.
Was that the one where Cena, in hindsight, said that was the wrong decision?
Yep.
Even he admits it.
Yeah.
Well, another person that a lot of people have credited Cena towards the lack of a career for was Alex Riley, and he just got released. Although I wouldn't argue the same for him as when it comes to Sandow and Barrett, because I think that Riley didn't try as hard.
I like the words
you
used.
might have helped.
You said they credited it for him. Like, thank you, Cena.
You know what would have helped Alex Riley? When he buffed up, if he bought some fucking tights that fit. Seriously, I got sick of looking at his fucking ass crack. Ugh.
He had a good look to him, and he had some charisma, and he had some in-ring skills and whatever, but you know, when you spend a couple years and you're not doing anything with them, you lose your credibility, and the fans don't care about you anymore. And Ryback was talking about this a little bit when he did that whole big blog post. He said, you know, if you pay people based off of what you assign a value to on wins and losses, and you decide who wins and loses, then you decide what you want to pay the people anyway. So if somebody gets over with the crowd and you know, you start using them a little bit more or whatever like that, then it makes sense. But if you put somebody in a position where they can't get over with the crowd because you only have them lose over and over and over, and you only put them on superstars and main event and whatever like that, then yeah, nobody's going to give a shit. You know, when Alex Riley came back to NXT, people were like, wait, who the fuck is this?
Well, I think
so of course he wasn't going to be a big guy, you know?
A big thing with Ryback's complaint about that, too, is also it's the base pay more than anything. So it's not so much that people are being made to win as much, but because they win, they're afforded all these other opportunities as far as merch sales and going on the talk shows and doing all those other things. Meanwhile, the guys who are just busting their ass and the ones who, as he's saying, make those guys look good are being paid nearly peanuts.
Right.
So it's the base rate that needs to be raised, and that's a huge topic that should be discussed. You know, props to Ryback for bringing that up.
It's also a big issue in MMA, and unfortunately, the way being an independent contractor in either business works at this point is you're worth as much as you can get. Mm-hmm. You take a look at AJ Styles. That's a guy that got that. He got offered a contract by WWE, said, no, that's not enough money. So he went to TNA in New Japan, kept bidding those two against each other, and eventually got that big WWE payday. Unfortunately, if you're not smart enough to get paid in this business, you don't get paid.
I don't know, though, because, I mean, like, you look at somebody like an Alex Riley, they could have used him a little bit more, and then it took all this time for them to release Hornswoggle and El Torito. Like, they kept Hornswoggle on the payroll for 10 fucking years. That dude didn't offer shit, but they clearly wanted to keep paying him.
Alex Riley was a weird one, though, with his downfall, because I don't know if you guys remember the incident that caused, like, the spiral of just destruction of his career. He sandbagged Jack Swagger once on Raw. He got punished for it, and we've never seen him, like, get a push since.
Is that what it was?
Yep, he got really, really over after he split from The Miz. And I actually thought he was going to be something big at the time. Not, like, world champion,
a lot of
but
people did.
A respectable,
at least IC champ.
Yeah, a respectable mid-carder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then he just sandbagged Jack Swagger on Raw once, and I guess he just rubbed people the wrong way with it to the point where he never got an opportunity again.
It's just kind of ridiculous, because I look at the list, and it's like, I can understand why they would get rid of Zeb Colter. They weren't using him anymore as a manager. That whole Mex America thing didn't work out.
I don't get that at all, actually. I think he's a fucking guy that you should have kept backstage.
But he's probably too old to
agree.
want to travel.
I think Zeb is a great mouthpiece, so I think you could pair him up with a lot of different guys. That's one that I was sad to see go.
I'll tell you the perfect guys to put him with. And Wago, I know you'll like this. Say yeah!
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Actually, that would work really well.
Right? You just turn them into total southern assholes, put some like Confederate flags on them. Dude, they would get so much heat.
They would get it. That Brooklyn
that idea.
got released too, and we haven't heard much about exactly why, but he was just a backstage person, so maybe he wanted a change in career. Maybe they didn't really want to use him anymore, as like his ideas kind of sucked. Or he's been a part of the company for a long time though, so that's a little surprising.
And he was
like
more of an agent role for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And they very rarely just, like, get rid of these guys like this. And especially make an announcement on their website like this. I mean, the last person I remember doing like that was Mark
Finley.
Eaton. Oh, I guess Finley, yeah. But Finley they brought back, didn't they?
Yeah. Finley was like, we need to punish you. We'll bring you back in a couple months.
They need to punish him for that thing that he had nothing to do with.
Yeah, the Miz with the what was it, the salute or something like that?
I thought it was
he did something.
I thought it was Jericho.
National anthem.
I think something happened in a match where he was the road agent for, and he got the blame. Was the gist of it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Was he the one that got blamed for a spot with a vertical suplex, or was that Goldust?
I don't fucking know.
He got blamed for something, whatever. But it doesn't seem like Brooklyn Brawler has something like that tied to him. It's maybe he just retired.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, he's been there a long time. Maybe his contract just came to an end and it was time for him to move on with his life.
Maybe it was just another JTG situation where they forgot he was employed.
Maybe. Although I felt like that when it came to Santino. I didn't know he was still an active, like...
I thought he had gotten... I thought they got rid of him a long time ago.
I thought he got... Yeah, I thought he got the axe and the smash a long time ago.
He was still like an ambassador type guy. But you know what I just thought about Brawler? Maybe he was a Vince McMahon guy. And maybe this is the continuation we're seeing of the Vince McMahon guys being taken out and transferring over to the new generation of people.
Well, when's that buck-toothed cunt gonna leave then?
Book 2?
Buck-toothed cunt.
Oh, Buck 2. Soon, we hope.
Buck-toothed. Woo!
Maybe that is the case. Maybe it's just sort of like, hey, look, we know that we don't want you a part of this anymore. Your contract's coming up. Maybe you should retire because we're going to get rid of you soon anyway. Like, could be a combination of that.
I know he was well liked backstage, so I doubt it was anything bad. He probably just like, yeah, you're old, fuck off.
Cameron, I think she sealed the deal when she supported Ryback.
She sealed the deal when she pinned another woman with her who was fucking like face down.
Yeah.
Yes, she didn't have much of an argument going for her either. But when you are in an environment where like you're not being used all that much, you're not really improving too drastically, and you've been around for a bunch of years, and somebody's bitching and complaining about the company, and you're the one person who stands out and says, I agree with that person, there's not as much of a chance for them to keep you.
You see, they want to argue that they bust their ass and try really hard. Well, sometimes your best isn't good enough, and Cameron's just a perfect case of that. I guarantee I wouldn't be surprised if she fucking tried her hardest and she was busting her ass each week. Too bad you suck.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's perfect for everything, and she was useful when it came to Total Divas, but she stopped doing Total Divas.
Wasn't she the dumb bitch that fucking said her favorite match was Melina versus somebody to Steve Austin on Tough Enough?
Melina versus Alicia Fox. Greatest Divas match of all time.
Yeah, so that's Cameron's legacy right there, pinning somebody on the wrong side and fucking her answer on Tough Enough.
And being a cheerleader with the Funkadactyls. That's it. But that brings up the idea of, we had another rumor that was going around that said more releases are coming up pretty soon over the next couple of weeks. We don't know if that's actually going to come out and be the actual story, or if that's it, or maybe the whole big, more releases coming up soon was Brooklyn Brawler and potentially Adam Rose. But if they are going to take out a couple more people, who should they get rid of? I mean,
Zack Ryder.
Now we're starting. See, I don't know. I think you should keep Zack Ryder around a little bit because you're getting rid of a lot of people, and you don't want to have nobody be jobbers.
Well, let me tell you, at the same time, while they get rid of all these people, I also was reading through the conference call today, and they announced that in this coming month, they have more people on the active roster than they ever have in the history of the company.
Really?
So let that
they do need to trim the fat, and if we're talking about fat, we need to get rid of Kevin Owens. That guy's really fat.
Even more than when they were in, like, the Invasion and the brand split and all that?
Yep.
Because that seemed like they had a shit ton of people. That was like
Well, they
70
had more
people.
stars. That's what it was. They had more people that you gave a shit about.
And that Randy Orton guy, he sucks too. You can get rid of John Cena.
Well, scrolling through the list right now, I mean, Adam Rose we talked about. That dude has to be gone. Has to.
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Without a doubt. If they released anybody other than him, I would be fucking shocked. But I wouldn't be too shocked if Bo Dallas went.
I would.
I would be
He's
very
got
shocked. Are you
his
kidding?
his brother and his father are in the company.
Yeah, he's
I'd
got
be
a job
very
for a
surprised.
long ass time, especially just after his grandfather died.
I'm not.
You talk about needing jobbers too. You know what? They can groom new jobbers, and there's no shaming being a jobber. It's a fucking weekly paycheck still.
And he seems like the kind of guy who probably doesn't complain about it. Like, I don't picture Bo Dallas being the kind of guy like, ooh, my spot.
Okay, do you think when he goes home and looks in the mirror and goes, man, why am I not a main eventer?
If they wouldn't have been starting to do this whole make Darren Young great again thing, I would think that he would be a guarantee.
I'm actually intrigued for the first time in my entire life about Darren Young, so I hope he doesn't go.
I'm still not.
Well, this is his last
actually,
I'm perplexed more than anything.
I'm not intrigued by Darren Young as much as I am intrigued by
Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
I could see them getting rid of Eric Rowan.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so.
No, Eric
I
Rowan.
wouldn't be shocked. Let's see what else. I would have thought Primo and Epico for sure, but they're fucking keeping them around. Fandango could be gone.
Yeah, I could see them getting rid of Fandango, which is a shame because he's a talented guy, but at the same time, yeah, not for.
He might
I
be
can't
winning
really
people
blame.
back over. With this,
I can't blame it. I can't blame him. He just hasn't done much in a while.
Swagger, I think, is in danger.
I don't think so. They've got a boner for him.
Somebody does like him, and the thing is, I think it might have been Zeb. So maybe his days are up.
Yeah.
We talked about this before. Connor and Victor.
Yeah, I would say both of them are on the.
Yeah, I don't
block
think.
soon.
I don't think
Victor
too many
will
people
survive.
are defending him. What about Sin Cara?
He's a possibility. He's one of those ones I don't think he'll get released, but if he gets released, I'm not going to be like, what? Like,
He's one of those guys I would be more shocked to see him released than I would be to see him repackaged.
Now, due to circumstances, Tyson Kidd.
No.
Yeah.
He's not. He's a heart.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
But they can't just re-sign a contract if they think that he's not going to ever compete again. So if that's a situation where backstage they've found out enough bad news, then I think that they'll release him and then re-sign him in a couple months as like some kind of a trainer or something like that. But
I've got one. Nah, that guy ain't gonna get rid of Henry. He'll just run out his contract.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're not going to fire him. He's gonna go.
David fucking Otunga. The fuck's he been? He's still on the roster page.
He's on the
roster. Really?
Yeah.
He did tease something about something coming up soon. Usually when people do that, it means that they're leaving the company.
You think
he might.
Curtis Axel might be another one to go.
Wouldn't be shocked about him.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
A lot of people that came up recently are pretty safe. Like, you're not going to see a Baron Corbin go. You're not going to see. I highly doubt that they're going to be releasing like Stardust or whatever. Even Tyler Breeze. A lot of people are shitting on Tyler Breeze with how he keeps losing a lot lately and all that. I think that he's still good, and I think that all the women are good, except for maybe if anybody else gets released, it's got to be that one that I've been saying should be released, which is Rosa Mendes. Like, there's just no point in her.
There's one that I don't like. I'm not sure how long he's going to stay on the roster. I think he's going to be safe from this round of cuts, but R-Truth, I don't know. Like he's always good for the comedy role, but there's plenty of guys you can plug into that.
He's also a company guy who's been there for a long time. They're not going to just turn their backs on R-Truth.
See, you talked about them having
they did it before.
Swagger, and Jack Swagger, they don't seem to push anywhere near as much as R-Truth. Like, people love R-Truth backstage.
Yeah,
he's sticking around, I think.
He was around before. K-Quick, he got rowdy, they got rid of him.
That's a completely different time. They weren't loyal to him then. They're loyal to him now. Back then, he was just Road Dogg's friend.
You're released.
Like, at this point, R-Truth has done a lot of outside promotional things for them. He's a guy who brings in a demographic for them that not many other people do. And
The dude can't climb ladders and he's terrified of spiders. What good is he?
well, until they have a
ZZ.
spider match.
ZZ has to go. A couple other developmental people.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still
Oh
there.
wait, that's the fucking fat douche from
Tough Enough.
Fat douche.
Yeah, he's still employed. I don't know how. And I could see, like, a referee or, like, maybe Tony Chimmel now. He's been kind of pushed aside.
Yeah, leave Chimmel alone.
You know who
I'm
should
not
probably
gonna
go?
fire
Elias Sampson.
Yeah.
That guy fucking blows. Like, he's one of the worst fucking wrestlers I've ever seen. He's fucking boring.
Like,
I don't think he's that offensive.
You
But...
should be pretty good to take a beat down from Nakamura. Oh god, you suck taking a beat down from Nakamura.
He's like the new CJ Parker. He's fucking terrible.
Sawyer Fulton.
I'm surprised like you fucking break Nakamura's nose like CJ did to Owens. Guy sucks.
Sawyer Fulton's got to go. Angelo Dawkins. Like, we had a lot of people that could go.
Angelo Dawkins, yeah, he could fuck off. I've never seen anything in that guy.
Isn't it the guy who, like, stirs the pot when he comes out?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
It's a last-ditch effort to try to do something. That's what it is. Terrible.
So, first time I saw him in those stupid glasses, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be invested in you.
But we're getting that global cruiserweight series thing that they got going on, so they're going to add more people in from there, I'm sure. And we got the new batch of people, like No Way Jose just showed up. I still haven't seen a single match of his, so I don't know if he's any decent or not. But they're adding more and more people to fill in that NXT spot, and then they're taking those NXT guys, bringing them up to the main roster. So we could get, a handful more of releases coming up over the next 2 weeks or so.
Remember everyone thought that they were going to be hurting when all these NXT guys came up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
You know what? As I said, I hope I'm wrong, and I was very happy.
So I think that's about it when it comes to the hot tags for this week. Hopefully, if we do get releases over the next couple of days, couple of weeks, whatever the case may be, it's nobody that we're like actually kind of upset about,
And ideally, it happens on a slow week when we got no hot tags.
Like, they released all the indie guys in one day. Like, Kevin Owens, Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Neville, all released in one day.
It turns out that, like, they're going to keep somebody like a Del Rio and a Sheamus, put them back in the main event because they needed to just get rid of a big cast. And, we don't really want to keep Brock Lesnar around anymore, or Cesaro, or Dean Ambrose.
They're going to release The Rock.
Yeah. We're going to get rid of Roman Reigns. A lot of people would be happy about that, but we wouldn't be. But that's it for us for part 2. Leave your comments below. Tell us what you think about these different subjects and what you are interested in when it comes to the releases coming up soon and the ones that just happened over the past couple of days, too. We're going to take a break with the rest hold, try to figure out what the fuck is going on with Skype, because we have tons of Skype issues going on right now. We're going to come back after that with our main event, Retain, Repackage, or Release.